Guardians of the Galaxy. If you want to see two of the most iconic characters from 21st century cinema
So what?
all rolled up into one film, you know where to turn. Guardians of the Galaxy. That film actually uses plenty of actual makeup and costumes to bring its characters to life, but it won't surprise you to hear that those two icons, Groot and Rocket, were computer generated. It's well worth watching some of the behind-the-scenes shots for loads of reasons, from the huge green screens in the background to the spaceship bits and all the actual real-life pyrotechnic explosions. A lot of explosions. But the best reason to take a look behind the camera is Rocket. When he's still just director James Gunn's younger brother Sean, crawling around the set in a green suit. He seems to be really playing the part too. Shame they animated his face out. Jurassic World. After seeing this, you're going to want to start campaigning for a re-release of Jurassic World pre-dinosaur. Sure, we should mention how well all the actors are doing since there are no monsters to be frightened of, but the bigger issue here is just how entertaining it is to watch a pole with a light on the end standing in for a T-Rex. There are so many great moments in this behind-the-scenes footage, like this moment where a crew member sticks his hand through a hole in the wall and makes it snap at the children, or this moment where Chris Pratt has to have a tender moment with a styrofoam dino head on a stick, or this, which I can only assume is the start of a new dinosaur-themed boy band. We really do need a whole film like this. Planet of the Apes. Remember Terry Notary, Harrison Ford's dog? Well, before he was a dog, he was the world's leading ape guy. He's played apes in all kinds of films, but his most famous work was in the Planet of the Apes franchise. But as good as he is at switching from one sort of ape to another with nothing but some arm stilt things and his physical acting ability, he couldn't play all those apes on his own. They needed one actor for every ape because they wanted the first film of the new series to be the only motion capture film to shoot on location outside at that time. So how did they do that? They got a bunch of adults and Gollum, otherwise known as Andy Serkis, together in a room and made them go to ape school with Notary as their teacher. Game of Thrones. It won't surprise you that Game of Thrones was chock full of CGI, not only because dragons don't actually exist, but also because that would be a pretty big world to build in real life. There were some bits filmed on location, but the more elaborate the story got, the more CGI came in, and suddenly, Emilia Clarke was sitting on a huge, shapeless bucking bronco in a warehouse somewhere, wondering how she's meant to act like she's controlling a dragon. She wasn't the only actor facing those kinds of challenges either. Imagine pretending you're in choppy seas and on fire while fighting a war, when you're actually just standing on a boat in a car park with 60-foot high green screens around you. But the very best has to be the zombie polar bear, which isn't just challenging because it's faceless and green like most models, but because it's actually hilarious. They probably set it on fire just to give actors one thing to be scared of. Solo, a Star Wars story. You can't get any bigger in Hollywood than Star Wars. Combine that legendary series of sci-fi films with megastar Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and you're bound to get something amazing. It's no surprise they gave her the role of spirited droid L337, since she's known for her quick wit in front of the camera and as a writer. And they did give her freedom to improvise, but not with one surprising element. They didn't let her act like a droid. What? Well, I guess it worked, but that's gotta be a challenge, especially when your whole body is covered in wires and robot bits, and all your human parts are hidden behind a green suit. It looked great in the end, but imagine shooting a whole film with your face in green mesh. She's a consummate professional. Dumbo. Picture a cute little baby elephant in your mind. Now imagine what could possibly stand in for a CGI version in a film. Maybe a model or something? How about a human man? It wouldn't be my first choice, but that's what they did on Dumbo. Apparently it helps the animators create accurate movements, but Ed Osmond must have worked pretty hard to get that right, because he isn't anywhere near the same shape as Dumbo. Watching the footage back, it seems like they just wanted someone they could watch roll down a ramp a few times, because it's much more entertaining when a human does it than a model of a baby elephant. He was very committed though. I hope his work paid off. The Call of the Wild. The Call of the Wild didn't get the best reception from critics or audiences, which is surprising because normally people go crazy for anything with Harrison Ford in it. But there was one group who were very happy about it: animal activists. That's because it's a movie about a dog, but with no dog in it, guaranteeing that no animal cruelty happened on set. But how do you make a dog movie with no dog? You call Terry Notary. He's Hollywood's go-to guy for motion capture animals. He was once a Cirque du Soleil performer and now is better known known for playing apes in all sorts of movies, but some people would say his career hasn't changed much. He's still running around in a leotard doing odd things, like walking around on arm stilts, trying as hard as any human ever has to convince everyone around them that they're Harrison Ford's dog. This is a job you can actually do as an adult. What a world. Deadpool. Deadpool has become one of the biggest smash hit films of our time, but that kind of thing doesn't come easy. They gave themselves an incredible challenge by writing Colossus into the films. The production team were determined to get him just right, so they pulled out every trick up their sleeve, which meant he ended up being played by 4 performers and a shiny silver ball on a stick. No, seriously, there was one actor in, you guessed it, one of those horrible motion capture suits shooting reference movements in a studio. Then they got in another actor to shoot on location in yet another unflattering motion capture suit. But even though he towered over everyone at 6'9", he still wasn't tall enough, so the team put him in platform shoes to match his awful suit. Then they got a voice actor in to do his dialogue and went to the extra measure of splattering special paint all over his face to capture his facial movements with ultraviolet light, so they could combine his face with another actor's face with Colossus's strong jaw. I hope you're following this because I'm not sure I am. Plus, there was the shiny ball that the animators used to make him correctly shiny, and plenty of new software inventions.